We are Black We are Wisconsin.
It is game one of a three-game set between the Brewers and Padres here at Miller Park as the tailgaters in full swing. The Crew looking to wrap up their six-game homestand with another series win. The Brewers 10-7 since the All-Star break begin the day just a game and a half back of the Cubs with a top spot in the NL Central while holding down a two-game lead for the top NL wildcard spot. And here is your starting tilt for game one between the Brewers and Padres. Chase Anderson going for the Brew Crew, picking up the no decision on August 1st against the Dodgers, while Clayton Richard going for the Padres. Welcome to another day of Brewers baseball. I'm Dario Melendez. Matt LePay and Bill Schroeder will join me in just a second. The Brewers getting set for their second and final series against the Padres. And with that said, let's take a look at some of the top stories you need to know as we get set for game one. First off, what you need to know is the Brewers have been playing some great baseball. They are 9-4 of their last 10 games and have launched 9 home runs in the last 4. They're 144 dingers this season, tied for second most in the NL. Speaking of playing great baseball, Christian Yelich has been tearing the cover off the ball the last month. He's batting .438 in his last 26 games and is currently your NL batting leader with a .326 average. And the Brewers are looking to continue their dominant ways against the Padres. They are 3-0 against them this season and have won 8 of their last 9 games against San Diego. And another Brewers move. The Brewers have activated relief pitcher Jordan Lyles, with the team claimed off of waivers on Sunday, while placing Matt Albers on the 10-day DL with left hamstring tightness. Lyles telling me before the game that this is the first time he has ever played meaningful August baseball and been a part of a team with a winning record this far into the season. First thing he did when he heard the move, checked the standings when he was in Chicago when the Padres were playing the Cubs, and he is ready for a postseason run. Still to come, we get to set for Brewers baseball. Matt LePay, Bill Schroeder getting you set for game one by taking a look at tonight's starting tilt, what Chase Anderson needs to do to continue his hot streak.
out a miss. Anderson called strike 3. Got him on the edge. And he got him. Got him. A strikeout. A swing and a miss. Anderson gave him the fastball.
It's a rematch of the opening day pitching assignments. Clayton Richard, the left-hander for the Padres, and this guy, Chase Anderson, on the mound tonight for the Brew Crew as Milwaukee begins this three-game series against the San Diego Padres. Good evening from inside Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Matt LePay. Chase Anderson back on the mound tonight, Rock, and he's someone they were counting on throughout the course of this season. He's been on a roll these last 8 outings, looking to keep that going here tonight.
It's just like real estate. Location, location, location. That's what he's been doing. I mean, with all of his pitches, fastball, curveball, changeup, he'll throw the cutter. And the one thing he's been doing a real good job of as of late, keeping the baseball in the ballpark. Early in the season, he was giving up an awful lot of home runs. His last 8 starts, a 2-1 record. A lot of no decisions in there. He could have easily won 4 or 5 of those games. A 208 earned run average. He's given up only 10 runs in this stretch. And you can see the walks are down, strikeouts are up, and the changeup's been a terrific pitch for him.
All right, Brewers took 2 out of 3 against the Colorado Rockies, continuing the swing against the National League West. The Brewers and the Padres, game 1, coming up at Miller Park. First pitch is next. Its 2018 season at the end of March in San Diego. The series ended with a 3-game sweep of the Padres, with the Crew's newest additions leading the way. Since that time, the Brewers have continued their winning ways to become the second-best team in the National League. Tonight, the Brew Crew will feature the league's hottest hitter, pushing for a batting title, and their ace starter who's been lights out in his last 8 outings. The Brewers looking to keep their winning ways going against the Padres, coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Chase Anderson taking the Miller Park mound as he and his teammates ready to start this 3-game series against the San Diego Padres. Brewers beginning tonight a game and a half behind the Chicago Cubs in the NL Central. That is our crew on a nice comfortable night. The roof open here at Miller Park. Brent Wheatland is our producer. Phil Malika is our director. And Andy Green, year number 3 as the Padres manager. It has been, in particular, it was a very rough July for the Padres, but they have split their first 4 games in the month of August. That series in Chicago. Here's the Padres batting order, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Manuel Margot leads things off. Eric Hosmer, Hunter Renfroe 2-3. Christian Villanueva hits in the cleanup spot. Austin Hedges, Freddie Galvis, Franmil Reyes, Corey Spangenberg, and Clayton Richard rounding out the Padres batting order, and that's the order that will face Chase Anderson.
Let me mention that Chase has been very good. His last 8 appearances, the last 8 starts, 2-1 record, very good earned run average. Last time out, a no decision against the Dodgers, 6 innings, 3 hits, but 2 of them were home runs, a back-to-back variety, making start number 10 against San Diego.
And ready to roll as a first pitch to Margot, misses just below the knees, and we are underway at Miller Park. Actually, the Padres had a terrible month of July, winning just 5 games, but, and it, you know, Rock, we've talked about this before, this could be labeled a trap series. They split with the Cubs, and that just tells you, don't assume anything here. These guys are trying to carve their own niche in the big leagues, and Andy Green's team's playing hard.
Yeah, for a team that is dead last in runs scored in the National League, they put up 26 runs against the Cubs in 4 games. Yeah, not too bad, including 10 on Sunday. So yeah, beware.
Craig Counsell's team 10-7 coming out of the All-Star break. A day off. Everybody a chance to take a deep breath yesterday after 17 straight days of games coming out of the break, as Anderson lands the curveball that evens the count to Margot 2-2.
Yep, it's been location on everything he's been throwing as of late. Fastball's been on the corners. Every now and again he'll miss his spots, give up a home run, but that has been down for him.
And he gets Margot looking, worked him inside edge for out number 1. Good start to the night for Chase Anderson.
Hey, let's check out the Brewers defense. You got Braun, Kane, and Yelich in the outfield. Moustakas Perez gets the start at shortstop. Hernan Perez at short. You got Scope and Aguilar on the right side, and Manny Pena back behind home plate tonight.
Crowd settling in as pennant race baseball continues in Milwaukee. Brewers taking 2 out of 3 against the Colorado Rockies. This series concludes the run that they have had against NL West teams. Now the Giants will come in here in September, but the Brewers are 19-8.
Yeah. Good work against the West.
Eric Hosmer at the plate. Another former Royal moving on. He and his buddy Mike Moustakas. Little pregame chat. Hosmer signed the big 8-year contract in February, and a little bloop will be handled by Hernan Perez. 2 up, 2 down.
Yeah, Hosmer leading the team in home runs, RBIs. Hunter Renfroe not too far behind. Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. The Brewers offense need to be patient against Clayton Richard. His walks have been up as of late, so be patient. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs either. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for the Brewers. Last night we talked about it for Chase Anderson, 10 earned runs, but only a 2-1 record. That's how he's been throwing very well, but a lot of no decisions. He could easily have 4 or 5 wins in that stretch.
7 up, 7 down for the season for Anderson. You remember that opening day matchup? It was a thrilling game, extra innings. Anderson versus Clayton Richard. Brewers winning out in San Diego on opening day. That series turned into a preview of coming attractions. In that series, Ryan Braun, a big home run in the 9th inning. This team has had its share of dramatic finishes.
Yeah, 6 innings in that start for Anderson. Only 1 hit, no runs.
Renfroe is able to check his swing. Alan Porter, the first base umpire. Brewers with 8 walk-off wins here this season, including one Friday night against the Rockies. His last at-bat wins, also a lot of those on the road, including a couple in San Diego to start the year. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the San Diego left fielder. Gets a couple of first inning strikeouts, does Chase Anderson. A lot of talk about the first inning troubles. Anderson putting that in the rearview mirror. Brewers coming up. Top half of the first inning, and now the Brewers come calling. Craig Counsell's team a game and a half behind the Cubs in the NL Central, but still with the best of the wild card record, so very much in the thick of this fight in the National League. Let's check out the Brewers batting order presented by Pastime. Lorenzo Cain at the top, followed by Christian Yelich and Jesus Aguilar. Jonathan Schoop hits cleanup. Ryan Braun, Mike Moustakas, Hernan Perez, Manny Pena, and Chase Anderson rounding out the Brewers batting order. And will be facing the left-hander Clayton Richard.
Yeah, Richard hasn't won a game since June 22nd at San Francisco against the Giants. He's 0-4 in that stretch. Padres 1-6 in that time, making career start number 11 against Milwaukee. He's 3-4. Started out pretty well, but not so good lately.
It's an interesting matchup. You'll get a lot of those ground balls, and Cain slips one through and into center field for a base hit.
Well, he does get a lot of ground balls. I mean, he is a ground ball pitcher. You see that two-seamer. Once it gets by Richard, pretty good chance he's going to get a base hit. You can see shortstop nowhere in sight. Freddie Galvis shaded him around the hole to pull.
Cain does what he's been doing all season long. At the top of the order, if he's hitting second or third, he gets on base, as does Christian Yelich. Lefty versus lefty, and that has been just fine for Yelich this season. Looking to continue that tonight as he takes a strike from Richard. League leader in batting average is Christian Yelich. And a bouncing ball towards second. No play at second. As Yelich is retired on the ground ball to Spangenberg. Lorenzo Cain moves up the base, 1 out.
Well, let's check out the defense for San Diego. You got Renfroe, Margot, and Reyes in the outfield. Christian Villanueva at third base. He leads the team with 12 errors. Freddie Galvis, Spangenberg, and Hosmer on the right side. And Austin Hedges, very good defensive catcher behind home plate for San Diego.
He has the veteran A.J. Ellis who backs him up. Hedges getting the call here tonight. And here is Jesus Aguilar. Still among the leaders in home runs. Only Nolan Arenado and Matt Carpenter have more. Those 26 are tied with Bryce Harper and Eugenio Suarez. Cain dancing around a little bit, giving Richard something to think about.
Say, you keep that up, I am going to steal third.
The Brewers have played well coming out of the All-Star break, 10-7, and they have done it without Jesus Aguilar being able to maintain something that was next to impossible to maintain his numbers pre-All-Star break.
Yeah, just crazy hot was Aguilar. All-Star break kind of cooled him off a little bit, but the other guy's picking him up.
Couple of home runs for Jesus coming out of the break. One here at Miller Park against the Dodgers, and one in LA last week against the Dodgers. Brewers fared well on that West Coast trip, taking 5 of 8 and then 2 out of 3 back here against the Rockies. Pitch in the dirt that Hedges blocks. It's now 3-0 to Jesus Aguilar.
You know, going into that road trip, you think to yourself, you know, you go 4 for 4 in that stretch, that's going to be pretty good. But, you know, 5 and 3, that is really good work. They continue to, you know, play hard. And Darnell Coles has got his offense clicking along. He's got some extra, he got some reinforcements in at the trading deadline.
Different looking Brewers team coming home from the West Coast compared to what it was heading out that way. Mike Moustakas mentioned it in Brewers Live in the pregame show. The work he has done defensively. Also hit his first home run as a Brewer on Sunday. Aguilar a swing and a miss, and Richard has come back to run the count full.
Yeah, pulling the string. He's got the 4-seam, 2-seam fastball, not overpowering. Curveball. That's what this is right here, right on the edge, up a little bit, but Jesus out in front of it.
Jonathan Scope waits on deck. Clayton Richard, the 34-year-old out of Lafayette, Indiana, and the University of Michigan. Played a little football there. Baseball his ticket. 3-2 pitch to Aguilar, and there's a drive deep left field. 2-0 Brewer Crew. A no-doubter for Jesus Aguilar.
Kind of the way he hits them, right? Most of them are no doubters. They get out of the park so quickly.
First hit of the homestand, and it's a loud one for Aguilar.
Yeah, it jumped on a slider that he was able to just drop the head of the bat on, down and in. A blast left center.
And the mug. I want to state the obvious. That's never going to get old.
No. You know what? It's a much more mellow gauntlet these days. You know, I think that, you know, as the season goes on, you don't want to be risking injury with the full-out gauntlet.
That's true. You don't want to jump up and roll your ankle. You don't want to anything stupid happening.
No.
A ball, a strike to Jonathan Scope. There's a bouncing ball to Freddie Galvis. That is out number 2.
Man, watch the way he just drops the head of the bat on this pitch. Down and in. Said hit me written all over it. Kind of just spun up there, and see you later.
108 miles per hour off the bat of Jesus Aguilar. Give the Brewers this early lead tonight at Miller Park. Number 27 on the year for Jesus. Closing that gap. Tight race. A home run crown. Still a lot of baseball remaining as Ryan Braun settles in.
Yep, and now 79 RBIs for Aguilar. Got a real good shot at 100 this year.
Braun hits one hard into right field, and that goes off the wall. Reyes on the rebound. Braun on his way to second. Well, he had a good series against the Rockies. He's starting well here against the Padres tonight.
Yep, he's still hitting line drives. Now they're starting to fall a little bit. Yeah, line drives all season long, caught, but that one right there, 90 outer half, and Braun goes right with it over the head of Reyes. That Braun is really starting to barrel him up and find the holes now.
Braun has hit safely in 11 of his last 12. That hard contact finally being rewarded more for him of late. And here's Mike Moustakas. Mentioned Richard, a terrific ground ball pitcher, the best around among starters, 57% ground ball rate. The outs have been ground balls tonight, but he's given up a homer and a double from Braun.
Did you notice his Game of Thrones night tonight? And up on the scoreboard, they've got the guys dressed up as the guys on Game of Thrones. Look at that.
Now that's a look.
Nice. The Moustakas.
That's some work in the weight room look. And he hits it well into right center field. And that's gone. Two-run bomb, Mike Moustakas. Couple of two-run shots for the Brewers in the first.
Another lefty that can hit left-handed pitching. Now, what a way to start this series.
Well, he homered on Sunday, his first as a Brewer. He homers tonight.
And there's a fastball that stayed up in the strike zone. You can see Hedges reaching for it over the plate. And Moustakas knocks it out of here. Look at this swing. Nice and easy. Good balance. Follow through and drives it on out of here.
Hernan Perez at the plate.
Well, you start the game and you talk all about Clayton Richard not giving up home runs.
Who else do we want to jinx for the Padres?
It's like you're sitting around all day, you're grinding through the reports, and you're figuring out what you want to highlight about a pitcher, and you say, hey, he's going to be tough to hit home runs against.
Extensive research, hours and hours.
Yeah, all day.
Yep. All for naught.
Never mind.
Yeah. That was the first multi-home run outing for Richard since May 25th. That was against the Dodgers in LA.
Yeah. But you know sinker ballers like Richard, normally you get them early before they settle in and before that baseball starts to sink the way they want it, and the Brewers have been able to do that, jumping on them in the first inning.
Full count to Hernan Perez, and that is hit in the air to left field. Room for Hunter Renfroe. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the first, but a good first inning it was as Jesus Aguilar getting that power game going, as well as Mike Moustakas. Two-run shot for Aguilar, number 27, and Moustakas his second bomb in as many games for the Brewers. 4-0 after one.
Brewers with a 4-0 lead over the Padres as we head to the bottom of the second, or say top of the second inning here at Miller Park. Brewers, it wouldn't be another day without another Brewers roster move today. They were activating Jordan Lyles, who they claimed off waivers on Sunday from the San Diego Padres, while placing Matt Albers on the 10-day DL because of left hamstring tightness. When I spoke with Lyles before today's game, he said he's extremely excited to be on this team because he has never been part of a team that had a winning record this far into the season. As for how he will be used, because remember, Lyles has spent a majority of his career as a starting pitcher, but he has begun to make that transition to the bullpen, and look, that is where he's going to stay. Manager Craig Counsell telling me that he likes the length he brings out of the pen and does not expect to use Lyles in a starting role, and that is perfectly fine by the newest Brewer because he doesn't really prefer whether it's out of the pen or any starting role. All that matters to him is that he is part of a team with playoff aspirations, and he's excited to be part of a unit now that is one of the best in baseball.
All right, Daria, thank you very much. There's a ground ball steered to Mike Moustakas, and he retires Christian Villanueva for out number 1.
Yeah, Lyles started his career with the Houston Astros, went to Colorado, then San Diego mid-season in 2017. Yeah, good stuff.
He can bring it, and the numbers have been considerably better for Jordan Lyles this year out of the bullpen. The ERA is much lower.
It says he could be a little bit more aggressive, not worrying about setting up hitters as the game goes on, which is a lot of times what you do as a starting pitcher. So out of the bullpen, just go get them, and it's worked for him.
Brewers continue to add to a very good bullpen. Have a chance to get a good arm, go get it. That's what this organization has done. Another option for Craig Counsell to turn to as Austin Hedges turns on one, but a foul ball.
That went to the upper deck out there.
That was smoked.
Left field and foul ground, but wow. Just a loud strike.
Anderson had a couple of strikeouts in the first inning. Chase getting Margot and Hunter Renfroe. Hedges will be followed by Freddie Galvis here in the second inning. A ball, 2 strikes to Hedges. Good option behind the plate for this Padres team. Was really good last year at throwing out base stealers. The numbers a little bit down this season, but so he can get it down there in a hurry.
Yeah, good defensive catcher, Hedges. You're right, and he's learning from a pretty good guy on the bench, A.J. Ellis.
Hedges pops this one up. Hernan Perez will take charge, out number 2. Make no mistake, it is a rebuild for this Padres team. The Brewers getting Jordan Lyles, Tyson Ross picked up by the St. Louis Cardinals. Brad Hand recently moved to the Cleveland Indians. Andy Green in his 3rd year, trying to make it work, and they did win 2 out of 4 against the Cubs.
And traded away their closer. So it'll be interesting to see how Andy Green uses the back end of his bullpen.
Freddie Galvis at the plate. First year for Galvis with the Padres. Been with the Philadelphia Phillies. 6 years actually with the big club. Everyday guy, in fact, played all 162 last year for the Phillies. Power numbers for Galvis light this year. A couple of years ago, he did go deep 20 times. Phillies made the move, sending him to San Diego last December.
Switch hitter, 3 left-handed batters in the lineup against Chase Anderson. Kind of a different way to do it.
And a fly ball out toward Lorenzo Cain, and the first 6 have been retired against Chase Anderson tonight. Up and down go the Padres through an inning and 1/2, 4-0 Milwaukee.
0-0 Brewers as we head to the bottom of the second inning. All teachers, aides, and other educational employees can save money on seats for the rest of the Cruise Series against the Padres tomorrow and Thursday with an Educators Ticket Days package courtesy of Educators Credit Union.
Hit ball, Manny Pena, and he's on to start the bottom of the second.
Go to brewers.com/theme nights. I hate when the game gets in the way of these promos.
I walked all over you too. I'm sorry. Announcer.
No.
Well, they are stinging the ball here against Clayton Richard to start this game.
Yeah, leaving a lot of pitches up so far.
Hot shot that Spangenberg could not handle. Chance for Chase Anderson to bunt Pena up a base. And a butcher boil, a chopper to third. Villanueva for one, on to first, not in time.
Well, so close to being a base hit. Man, that's exactly what he was trying to do. Chop it on the ground, maybe get it over the infielder's head, but Villanueva able to grab it, get the force at second. That's exactly what you have to do. You do that play, you got to put it on the ground. No sense in, really doesn't do much when you put it in the air.
The right idea. So Anderson, the runner at first for Lorenzo Cain. He started that 4-run inning for the Brewers with a single back up the middle. Throughout this season, that on-base percentage has been high 300s. It now sits at 391. Remember, in that opening series that the Brewers swept, Cain played a big part in it. 9 for 15, or 8 for 14, I should say, in that series out at Petco Park.
Made it look easy in that opening series.
It was a good block by Austin Hedges.
Because he's been very consistent all season long, up and down, with the hits, but getting on base even when he's not getting hits.
Top two in the Brewers batting order. They've had a ton of success against lefties. And it continues for Cain down the right field line. That's extra bases. Chase Anderson on his way to third. He'll be held there. Lorenzo Cain a double, and the Brewers right back to it here in the second.
Well, they are making him pay dearly for mistakes up in the strike zone. And the problems for Clayton Richard continue. We mentioned he hasn't won a game since June 22nd. Padres 1-6 in that stretch when he's on the mound. And Lorenzo, look where this pitch ends up. Yeah, belt high, outer half, and he rips it down the right field line. He's 2 for 2.
Already 5 hits for the Brewers off Clayton Richard as the Padres start to pull the infield in a bit for Christian Yelich. And a ground ball over to first. Hosmer play at the plate, and Anderson will be cut down easily. That is out number 2. Cain moves to third.
Well, anybody but a pitcher is probably going to score on that. Get a little bit of a late break. The infield was back. Yelich grounds to first. An easy play for Hosmer, and Chase Anderson an easy out.
There are 2 outs, runners at the corners for Jesus Aguilar. And not much Chase could do there. You remember opening day, the play at the plate, he face planted.
Yeah.
No need to.
Don't want to do that.
No. Once is enough.
March, okay. Not August. They have a tendency to hurt more in August.
That recovery time takes a little longer.
Yeah, they just posted another hit. They finally gave Manny Pena a base hit on that leadoff bullet to second.
Yep.
I was wondering how they're going to score that.
Yep. So that's 6 hits for the Brewers after a 4-hit first inning. One of them coming from Aguilar, the 2-run homer. which gives Jesus 27 homers and 79 RBIs. That matches him with Trevor Story. And a strike makes it 2-1.
Got a slider in on him. Tried to get it down and in, left it up a little bit. Exit velocity almost 108 miles an hour.
Statcast AI powered by AWS. 25 degrees the launch angle on the home run from Aguilar.
Which is basically a line drive.
Another bolt.
Yeah.
With that nice easy swing. Third home run coming out of the break for Aguilar. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kane the runner at third, Yelich at first. Pitcher just misses inside to run the count full.
Just can't find those corners yet. And when he's throwing strikes, they're out over the plate. Brewers are hitting him hard.
Payoff pitch. Scope waiting on deck. On a first inning double. Again the 3-2. Ground ball, a foul ball rather, off the foot of Aguilar. So Jesus extending the at bat, which he is very good at doing.
Yeah, Jesus the Hound Aguilar up on the scoreboard. Very menacing picture up there. I love it.
Gotta let the hair grow a little
Yeah,
bit.
the Hound. He's a bad dude in that show. Tough.
Winter is coming. There's Freddie Galvis. And that will end the second inning for the Brewers. Little threat, but they do not score. After 2 is 4-0 Milwaukee. Park. A global superstar rock band, the Killers, will be performing at the grand opening of Fiserv Forum, Milwaukee's new state-of-the-art arena, on Tuesday, September 4th, along with special guest and Milwaukee natives Violent Femmes. Tickets are on sale now. For details, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/events. Bottom of the order here for the Padres, and this is one big dude. Franmil Reyes. 6'5", 275. He's put up some numbers in rather limited time with the Padres, but up and down a couple of times from their AAA affiliate. He's putting up some major numbers in the minor leagues.
Yeah, 6'5", 275 pounds.
Homered on Sunday at Wrigley Field. Measured at 477 feet. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bender from Anderson misses.
Right, just keep the baseball out of the middle of the plate. Try and work ahead of him, which Chase has fallen behind.
He's retired the first 6. A couple of strikeouts in the first inning for Chase. 3-1 pitch to Reyes. And there's the first base runner of the game for San Diego. Couple of 2-run homers in the first inning for the Brewers. Jesus Aguilar and Mike Moustakas spotting Anderson this early lead as the second baseman Corey Spangenberg steps to the plate. The first-round pick was taken in 2011 by the Padres right after Javier Baez was snapped up. Padres come in 44-70 on the year. Despite the 10-run outburst at Wrigley Field, it's a club that ranks at or near the bottom in many categories offensively. Runs scored, on base percentage. There are some thumpers, though. Reyes has proven he can be. Villanueva, 20 home run season. They're, make no mistake, they're not a home run hitting team by the body of work.
Yep, 99 home runs. Only the Marlins have hit fewer.
There's someone who hit a few. Mark McGuire. Bench coach for Andy Green. 1-2 pitch on the way to Spangenberg. Followed by the pitcher Clayton Richard.
They don't have a lot of power to the Padres. They don't run a whole lot. Most of their stolen bases the result of 2 different guys, Jankowski and Margot. The rest of them don't run much.
Again, the 1-2. That is hit hard into center field, and laying up for it is Lorenzo Cain. Runners at first and second to begin the 3rd inning for the Padres.
Well, it's going to give Clayton Richard an opportunity to drop down a bunt. Yeah, 7 and 8 hitters able to reach or walking a base hit. Change up, to Spangenberg. Not a bad pitch, but look at the way he goes down and gets it. Might have been up a little bit, but it was away. Lorenzo Cain electing to play it safe. Probably not able to get there.
So for the first time tonight, the Padres have something going. A walk to Reyes, a single for Spangenberg. Richard will try to move him up a bag. Drops it in front of the plate. Good bunt. Sacrifice completes as the runners advance to second and third. 1 away.
Yeah, deadened that one nicely. Yeah, barely made it on the grass and only played for Pini at first base. So Richard gets the job done. Top of the order coming up.
And Manuel Margot took a called 3rd strike to begin the game. Good defensive center fielder is Margot. He can cover a lot of territory. As Rock mentioned, he's one of the guys on the ball club for the Padres who can run. He's also run into his share of outs. RBI chance for Margot here in the 3rd. And he's going to drop a single in the right field. He's going to score Reyes coming home as well as Spangenberg. It's a 2-run single for Margot to get the Padres on the board.
Yes. All of a sudden, Chase Anderson not able to find his corners. Walk a couple of base hits, and now the Padres within 2. You see that one leaks over the heart of the plate, 93 miles an hour, and Margot, he got it down on the label, but fights it off into right. Wanted to come inside. He missed his spot.
So the lead cut in half for Eric Hosmer. In an offseason where many free agents did not hit the lottery the way they thought they might, Hosmer had a pretty good score. The 8-year contract with the Padres, $144 million. Signed that back in February. Another one of those key pieces in the Royals' run to back-to-back pennants, and of course the World Series title in 2015.
Yeah, good defensive first baseman, has some pop in that bat. And they're he's another guy that the Royals counted on a lot. You know, Will Myers has been on the disabled list 3 different times. That's their big bopper over the years.
Yeah, foot injury recently put him back on the DL.
He's only played 44 games this year, and that's a lot of offense to be without.
Hosmer's numbers down a bit here this season, maybe more than a bit. Chase with the 1-strike pitch. Cutter in on the hands, 2 strikes and nothing.
Yeah, good pitch. You don't want to leave that one out over the plate. You got to figure Margot might be trying to steal a base. I mean, Manny Piña's been very good throwing out runners. Chase Anderson with that high leg kick. Get a pretty good jump.
Margot has stolen 10 bases. He's been caught 9 times. Those younger players at this level still trying to figure that out. He'll hold. That is into left center field, and that's going to drop in front of Ryan Braun. The Padres getting some work done in the 3rd inning. 2 runs across, 2 more on with just 1 out.
And really nothing hit all that hard except for that base hit by Spangenberg. That one on the handle a little bit, but Hosmer able to fight it off. He puts a good swing on it, down on the label, and dumps it in front of Braun.
Three hits and a walk in the inning for the Padres off Chase Anderson. That's how fast it can turn.
Yeah.
Set down the first 6.
Lead off walk. And never a good start.
Hunter Renfroe at the plate. Struck out swinging to end the first inning. Curveball is in there for strike 1.
Been the difference maker for Chase in this nice stretch that he's been in, the curveball and changeup. Gets that over first pitch. You get that hitter guessing up there.
Tried it again. Count evens, a ball, a strike. Eric Johnson's pitching staff has been very good. Body of work, starters, bullpen, among the best in the National League. Break-even pitch to Renfroe.
Yeah, 4th best earned run average as far as pitching goes in the National League at 377. That's pretty impressive. Their starting rotation with all the guys in and out, the injuries, guys coming back and forth between AAA and the major leagues, still able to get some pretty consistent starts.
A ball, 2 strikes to Renfroe. Fly ball out to right field. Drifting back is Christian Yelich. This has some carry to it. That is out number 2 as Margot will tag runners at the corners with 2 away.
Man, it looked like a lazy fly ball when it was off the bat, but it just kept going. That's how strong he is. Hunter Renfroe.
So 2 away in the 3rd. Anderson now will work against the cleanup hitter and their home run leader. As you see, 20 bombs for Villanueva.
Yeah, 20 of the 99 they've hit.
Putting together a very good rookie season. The Padres' third baseman. He was a September call-up last year, appeared in a dozen games. But even in that time, he made an impression. He homered 4 times. Margot at third, Eric Hosmer the runner at first. And that somehow did not get him.
Yeah, that was kept tailing further and further in as it got to home plate. That'll wake you up. Yeah, just barely able to get out of the way. That was up there too.
Turn away and hope for the best. A ball, a strike. Curveball away. Laboring through the third here is Chase Anderson. It's a hitter's count for Christian Villanueva.
Amazing how it turns in 1 inning.
It really does.
I mean, he was right on, you know, with his location, and everything was working for him first 2 innings, and it's been a struggle since. 3rd inning, been rough.
3-1 pitch coming, and missed upstairs of the curve, and they are loaded. Playing with a lot of fire here in the 3rd inning.
You just can't get that curveball with any consistency over the strike zone.
We will have a mound visit.
Haven't seen many changeups this inning. Working on the curveball. And the fastball has been not bad. I mean, most of the hits have been on the label. They haven't really been barreling them up a whole lot. But they're up. They're fighting them off in the outfield.
Now trying to settle the opening day starter.
6 innings, no runs on opening day in San Diego against the Padres. Only allowed 1 hit.
2-1 win in 12 innings. There you see that pitch count. He sailed through the first 2. Gave up nothing. Much different story here in the 3rd. Padres are everywhere on the bases with Austin Hedges at the plate. Curveball in the dirt.
Man, just can't find it. He lost a feel for it. He was really good first 2 innings.
Hedges popped up an inning ago. 2-run, 3-hit, 2-walk inning for San Diego. Chase Anderson is having a world of trouble locating the strike zone right now.
Yeah, you can just tell he's a little uncomfortable out there, unsure of himself. He's walking around the mound a lot. You don't see that from him much. A little out of sorts.
And Hedges, a swing and a miss.
Thinking grand slam on that swing.
Brought that up just enough.
Right down the middle.
Hedges has 8 home runs. He's driven in 24. Chase has battled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cubs the early lead on the Royals. 2-0 in the 3rd. Margot at third, Hosmer at second, Villanueva the runner at first. Freddie Galvis, the on-deck hitter. Again, the 2-2. And that is strike three call. Wow, fastball right down the middle. As Hedges is caught looking, and that'll do it for the Padres in the third. They score a couple. They leave them loaded. 4-2 in the third.
It's 24/7 helpline providing reliable info and support for those with memory loss, caregivers, professionals, and the general public. That number 800-272-3900. It is Alzheimer's Awareness Night presented by the Brewers here, and Marty Shriver, who's an advocate of helping support with the Alzheimer's Association. His wife, Elaine, suffers from the disease. You wrote a book called My Two Elaines, Marty, and I know you got to be happy here. Paint the Purple Night. There's more than 500 people here, but the bottom line is your message.
Well, thank you. We're so grateful to the foundation, the Brewers Foundation, and to the leadership of the Alzheimer's Association. But no, we've got wonderful people here who are beginning to understand if Alzheimer's is bad, ignorance of the disease is worse. And so the more that we can spread the message and have people understand this disease, the better we're going to be able to help people.
Well, we're off to a good start here in this inning. I was sitting with Marty last inning, and Chase Anderson was in trouble, and he says, we got to get out of this. We got to get out of this. You're a big baseball fan, and you brought your family to a lot of games here, so I know that's meaningful for you to be here tonight, isn't it?
Well, it is especially meaningful because with my wife, Elaine, now with their world getting so small, all I have really are the memories. And this ballpark and the old Brewer ballpark, you know, certainly fond memories. So we're just grateful for the opportunity of what this community offers, but also for the people who are wanting to give of themselves to help make things better.
Is that the base of the inspiration of why you decided to write this book about her two lives before and now what she's battling now?
Well, there were so many things I didn't know about the disease, and I was so angry with myself because I could have made life better for her, better for me, better for our loved ones if I would have understood the disease, the importance, for example, of letting her go, but joining her new world where she now is. Once a person can make that very, very difficult transition, it makes such a difference in people's lives, that animosity and that conflict begins to disappear.
Well, it's great the Brewers are behind the Alzheimer's Association. And Marty, we appreciate everything you do.
We appreciate what you do, Craig. Thank you so very much.
All right, of course, my mother, Matt LePay's mother, and Rock Bill Schroeder's mom all passed away in 2017 because of Alzheimer's and dementia as well. So we're all sporting the purple ties, and we're 100% behind the Alzheimer's Association as well. Matt?
Yes, we are, Craig. Thank you. Thank you very much. A balk has been called here against Clayton Richards. So Scope, who led off the inning with a single, advances. Can't say enough how much we thank Marty and what he's done. Brock, so much of what he said there to Craig, it hit home.
It really a lot go out to the caregivers of the folks that are afflicted with this disease, and it's a horrible thing. You just hope that they're going to be able to find a cure for it. It's tough on the patients, it's tough on the families, it's tough on everybody. It's just a very sad way for a person to go.
Yeah, well, what he talked about, understanding the disease, that is so important. So it's a great work by Marty, great work by the Brewers Community Foundation for jumping on board. Thank everybody out here at the ballpark tonight wearing their purple. Little threat going for the Brewers here in the third. Jonathan Schoop with that leadoff single.
That little balk move to pick him off, but Alan Porter, the first base umpire, right away called the balk. You got to step toward first base. According to the first base umpire, he did not do that.
Picking guys off was a big deal for Richard last year. He had 8 pickoffs. He has 1 this year.
And not many this year, right?
Nope, just the 1.
The word's out on him, so I guess they're not trying to steal on him as much.
He was 8-15 last year. Those 15 losing decisions were the most in the National League. But he took the ball, 32 starts. He's taken the ball this year, start number 24. On with a fly ball, hit back into right center field. It's hit well and up against the wall. Reyes makes the catch as Schoop will move to third. Braun gave it a ride. The park holds it, out number 1.
Yeah, just didn't have that sound that Ryan Braun. And when he gets a hold of one, I mean, it has that special sound. You know it's not going to stay in the ballpark. Got that one a little bit down on the label. You can see just didn't barrel it up, and Brawny, when he barrels them up, they're not going to stay in the ballpark. Nice short stroke, taking it to the opposite field. Both times for Braun to right field tonight.
Here's Moustakas. Moustakas, a 2-run homer in the first. Couple of 2-run bombs in the first for the Brewers. Aguilar and then Moustakas. Continues to use the long ball to its advantage. Big storyline this season. Certainly was over the weekend. It was a fly ball hit into center field. This will get the job done, I think. Margot the catch. Here comes Schoop, and he's in. Sacrifice fly for Moustakas to give the Brewers a 5-2 lead.
Yeah, pretty good throw though, wasn't it? Margot, good arm in center field. He got it right on the line. One hopper to Hedges, and Schoop able to beat it. Good to see Jonathan Schoop get a base hit here. Got to get him hot. Pretty good throwing arm. Right on the money.
I mentioned Margot plays a pretty good center field. There's Hernan Perez.
Well, he's got plenty of center field to cover in San Diego.
He sure does. Got the speed to cover that ground. Five runs on 7 hits already for the Brewers. This is sent toward Freddie Galvis. Do it for the Brewers here in the third, but another run on the board. Schoop gets it started. 5-2 after 3. Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. More power from the Brewers. Aguilar Moustakas with 2-run homers. 5-2 Milwaukee as we move to inning number 4. As Freddie Galvis will lead things off. Chase Anderson got through the first 2, retiring all 6 hitters. 8 Padres came to the plate in the 3rd. See if Anderson can settle back in. Galvis, Franmil Reyes, and Corey Spangenberg. 6, 7, and 8 in the San Diego War. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung right through it.
That high fastball, even only at 91 miles an hour, effective. He's throwing a curveball, he's throwing a changeup, he's throwing a couple of fastballs in this at bat.
And the curveball gets him out number 1.
You know, you keep throwing it until you get a feel for it, because you know it's going to be an important pitch. Straight down that 12-6 rotation, and Galvis right over the top of it. That's a good one.
1 away for Franmil Reyes. Numbers Reyes was putting up for their AAA team in El Paso. He had homered 16 times. He had driven in 52 runs. That's over 58 games.
He's got 7 home runs here with the Padres, 9 RBIs. A lot of solo shots. 7 home runs in 115 plate appearances.
Working his way up through the system last year in AA. He homered 25 times, drove in more than 100. 23-year-old from the Dominican Republic. 2 balls, 1 strike. There's it in the air to center field. Going back, Lorenzo Cain reaching up and not able to get it. He just missed. And a home run to right center for Franmil Reyes. And the lead is cut to 2 again.
Well, now 8 home runs and 10 RBIs for Reyes. Boy, that is one strong young man right there.
He is put together.
Yeah, Padres not going away quietly. He gives that one a pretty good ride. It's just so strong, it just doesn't come down. On the other side of the fence, and Cain just missed it. Thought he should have had it, but that'd have been a great catch.
Corey Spangenberg lifts one into shallow left. Ryan Braun is there for out number 2. Might be a name to remember here. Reyes moving forward the rest of this season and beyond for this Padres ball club. Clayton Richard to the plate. And he pops it up. Moustakas will call for it. And that'll do it for the Padres in the 4th. But they get a run back. The solo shot from Reyes. 5-3 Brewers. 2-3 1/2.
Soto, definitely built for baseball. The 19-year-old with his 14th home run of the year, passing Mickey Mantle for the 5th most homers hit by a teenager. Right now, 1-1 in the bottom of the 7th. The Nats and Braves are tied. Nats currently 3.5 games back in the second wild card spot. Brewers with a 2-game lead in the first wild card spot.
All right, Daria, thank you very much. This sets up to be such an exciting last not quite 2 months of the season now. You have really all but 4 teams in the National League can say they're in it. You know, a team like the Giants, they've got a lot of traffic, but there's 6 out in the wild card race. You've got a lot of teams jockeying for those 5 available spots.
There's a lot of baseball to be played too. I mean, it's anything can happen. Just got to keep winning games. Don't worry too much about what's going on around you. Just take care of your own business and see where you're at in like mid-September, right?
Absolutely.
It's kind of the way it goes.
It's fun to see this ball club in it once again. Took it to the final weekend of the regular season last year. Trying to find that way to get one more game and get in the postseason. A lot of ball clubs in the fight. In the American League, it's more of a deal where 6 are battling for 5 spots. It's more open in the National League. Pena, Anderson, and Kane for the Brewers here in the 4th. And Pena looks at strike 3 called. Hit the inside edge. Does Clayton Richard for out number 1. Well, speaking of pennant race games, 2 more great National League games coming to FS1 on Saturday. First, the Cubs host the Nationals, and then Ryan Braun and the Brewers face off with Freddie Freeman and the Atlanta Braves. All starts at 2 Central on FS1 or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. For this series, the Brewers have another 3-city trip. Atlanta, a couple games with the Cubs, and then on to St. Louis.
3-city trip, but 2 off days. Off day before the Cubs series, off day before St. Louis. 5 off days in August. We've already had 1. That was yesterday.
Anderson goes down swinging. So the first 2 strikeouts of the night here from Clayton Richard coming in the 4th. Lorenzo Cain coming to the plate. Let's check out the Lowe's whole team together. That top of the order, one of the best in the National League. Check it out. That on-base percentage has been way up there for Lorenzo Cain throughout the course of the year. Christian Yelich leads the National League in batting average. And you have Jesus Aguilar in the 3rd spot in the order and hit home run number 27 in the first inning tonight.
Oh, and by the way, Yelich's on-base percentage pretty close to what Cain's at.
It's right there with him, isn't it? As hot a hitter as there is going right now. Christian Yelich. Brewers trying to make a little noise with 2 outs, and the base is empty. And Cain sends one into right field. Reyes at the track. And a 1-2-3 inning for the first time tonight for Clayton Richard. 5-3 Brewers after 4.
series against the Padres, you can manage your dream team and begin your run toward the playoffs with the all-new franchise mode in RBI Baseball 18, rated E for everyone. RBI Baseball puts you in control of all the action. Learn more at rbigame.com. Are you a gamer?
I'm not. I'm trying to understand what you're reading there, and it's kind of over my head.
Sounds like a good game.
It does. Yeah. That's what the kids are playing. Or anybody younger than us. Margot turns on one, and there's no doubt about it. And just like that, it's a one-run game. Manuel Margot had a two-run single in the third and a solo blast to start the fifth. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, a fourth spot against Chase Anderson. It's been a while since he's given up this many runs. Craig Counsell getting on the phone to try and maybe get somebody up. Curveball that just stayed up in the strike zone. Margot waiting on it. Way back and left. Goodness. Hit that one a ton. He's got 3 RBIs tonight.
Power's not his game, but you wouldn't know it there. It's his 5th homer of the season. There's Eric Hosmer, and power can definitely be a part of his game. Well, like you said, the Padres a light hitting team throughout the course of the season, but they showed well in Chicago, and after falling behind early tonight 4-0, Andy Green's team is in the thick of it now in the 5th. Padres have scored in each of the last 3 innings. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's the kind of thing that a manager and organization is looking for, where a team that is clearly out and was really out of the race early. There's had a lot of guys trying to carve a niche, not unlike maybe the Brewers in some respects a couple of years ago, or even last year for that matter. Hosmer draws a walk, and that has been an issue here for Chase in these last 2 or 3 innings. The bases on balls.
Yeah, and plus you find out, some of your guys have been around, 3-4 years. You find out who's in, who's out, who's willing to, do what it takes to, try and win games, even when you're out of the race. Corbin Burns getting loose.
There's Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe tonight a strikeout and a warning track fly ball to right. Swinging through that elevated offering from Anderson.
That's a pretty good pitch up and in.
Anderson with 4 strikeouts, 2 in the first inning. Renfroe one of those victims. Ooh. That's one any pitcher should get.
That's the Hall of Fame Express right there, partner. Down and away. I'm glad you said it, not me. I was getting ready.
Well, 1-2. Who wants him? Who wants him? Oh, look out. That was a tough chance.
Bounced back quickly, though.
It did, yep.
I'd still be laying there.
Didn't want to lose too many cool points. It's a good effort. 2-2 the count to Renfroe. Runs on 5 hits for San Diego, 5 on 7 for the Brewers. 2-2 pitch. Ripped foul. And another chance.
And these Padres are all over the fastball tonight, and For some reason, Chase Anderson just really doesn't want to throw that changeup. What changeups he's thrown have not been very good ones. Just off the outside corner, but you know, for a team like this, a young, aggressive team, that changeup is such a good pitch. He hadn't thrown many tonight.
In the meantime, Burns getting loose. Payoff pitch to Hunter Renfroe, and this is popped straight back. Renfroe last year showed a fair amount of pop. He is a very strikeout prone player. Homered 26 times a year ago. Strikeout rate last year 29%, a little better this year. It's in the air to center field. Lorenzo Cain's right there for out number 1.
And the Padres as a team strike out a ton. They've had a lot of strikeouts this year. Padres second most strikeouts in the National League. The Brewers are right behind them. Philadelphia Phillies have struck out the most as a team in the National League this year.
The Brewers can make up for it with the home run ball. The Padres are tonight. This season, that has not been a part of their game, as we've talked about. Near the bottom in that category. Here's Villanueva.
Yeah, but they have 5 home runs in their last 2 games.
Yeah, they do.
Right? I mean, they're against the Cubs on Sunday. They hit 3, 2 already tonight.
Villanueva has 20 on the year. Walked in the 3rd inning. One of 3 walks for Anderson here tonight, including the walk of Hosmer here in the 5th. Back at it here tomorrow night, and then Thursday afternoon, homestand finale. Stretch of games against the West will end. For the time being, the Giants come here in September. It's in on the hands, out to shallow center field. Long run, Cain got it. Oh, nice catch. Lorenzo Cain had to cover a lot of grass out there, and he did.
Well, he just makes up such a lot of ground in a very short period of time. Got a little bit of a late break because it was off the end of the bat, but he just keeps chugging in and gets it right before it hits the ground. Yeah, well done.
Two away with Hosmer, the runner at first, for the catcher Austin Hedges. Anderson lands the curve. Hedges had a good series against the Cubs. 5 for 13 in that 4-gamer down at Wrigley Field. A couple of home runs he had.
Playing in the pool, obviously in the infield. They've got Cain shaded toward left.
1-1 pitch. Just below the knees with a fastball. Hosmer, the runner at first, reaching on a walk. Margot started the inning with a home run. A no-doubter to left field. Two 2-1 pitch. Cutter missing.
This has been a grinder for Chase Anderson. Started out so well first 2 innings.
Yeah, nothing easy after that. 2 runs in the 3rd, a run in the 4th, 1 here in the 5th, and Hedges rips one into the seats, a foul ball.
He's hammered some pretty hard hit balls. In the seats, foul. First at bat, put one in the upper deck.
Full count to the Padres catcher. Pitch number 95 coming up for Chase Anderson. 2 men out in the 5th. Just gets a piece. Freddie Galvis, the on deck hitter. Another walk, second of the inning here for Anderson.
I wonder how long Craig Counsell is going to stick with Chase here. He's got Burns ready in the bullpen. Here comes Craig. 4 walks for Chase Anderson.
He retired the first 6. And then everything changed. Corbin Burns, ample time to get ready. And with 2 men out and 2 men on in the 5th, Chase Anderson will exit. Burns will enter here at Miller Park. Through the first couple of innings, the Padres flexing their muscles a bit. Chase having some trouble with the command, so his night ends after 4 2/3.
Yeah, been a while since he's given up that many runs. For Chase, he gave up 6 runs against the Phillies here at Miller Park. That was back on June 17th. Since that time, he's been very good. And Corbin Burns takes over his 10th appearance. 2-0. He's got a save as well. 245 earned run average. And last appeared on Sunday against the Rockies. Gave up a run in an inning of work. And a couple of men on with 2 outs.
So an important spot. Yes, it's the 5th inning, but it's a big spot here. As Burns was electric those first half dozen outings, and as will happen to every pitcher, a team or two will touch you up. Dodgers got to him a bit. I mentioned what happened with the Rockies. So a chance to get out of this. 2 men on for Freddie Galvis. Fly ball and a strikeout for the shortstop. Swing and a miss as Pena keeps it close enough.
Yeah, good slider to start him off, and that's been a pitch that he's been struggling with lately. Been throwing some spinners up there, having him hang up in the strike zone. That one ends up in the dirt. And Manny able to keep it close. Certainly a learning curve for a young pitcher like Corbin Burns.
In the air to right field. Yelich is right there. Good work by Burns. Well, the Padres get a leadoff homer from Margot, but they strand 2 runners halfway through. Brewers up a run.
Watching this one fly. There she goes. This one is gone. And Yelich sends one out of here. That one's deep right center. Christian Yelich.
All kinds of hard contact for Christian Yelich throughout this season, especially here in the last, month or so. He has hit safely in 24 of his last 26 games, and very little, if anything, has been cheap.
Yeah, that'd be a great video to just have at home, pop it in the wintertime, and just listen to that contact. If I were Christian Yelich, of course. I mean, maybe we should give him one if he's feeling down one day around December.
That's right. He's feeling a little missing the game a little bit.
This is what you did last year. Just take a listen.
It was a great morning wake-up call.
Man.
So much fun to watch.
It has been amazing to watch him just go line to line. I mean, right field line around to the left field line, left-handers, right-handers.
Swing and a miss here is Clayton Richard.
He's starting to settle down.
He really is. It's his 3rd strikeout at a couple in the 4th inning.
Yeah, 3 of the last 4 outs.
It's a heck of an athlete Richard was growing up in Indiana. Played his college ball at Michigan. Matter of fact, was in a quarterback battle at the University of Michigan with Chad Henne. Henne won the job. Richard said baseball's the path, and
well, he's going to be a backup, huh?
Yeah. I think he'll be a pitcher. Bounced around a bit.
It's worked out for him.
It's worked out pretty well.
He's had a nice long career. Astros, Padres to the Cubs. Back to the Padres. I think he spent a year with the White Sox, didn't he?
Yep, he was at one point with the Pirates organization briefly.
Yeah, bounced around.
34 years old now. Signed through next year. So he faces Jesus Aguilar, a ball, 2 strikes.
Big guy, doesn't throw hard. 6'5", 240 plus. Topping out at about 92, 93 tonight.
Night for Aguilar at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. The 2-run homer in the 1st and the ground ball to short in the 2nd. 2-2 the count. And a walk to Aguilar. Plate appearance there for Jesus. Retired the side in order in the fourth. Got a strikeout of Yelich to begin the fifth, and now Aguilar is on.
Yeah, first walk for Richard tonight, and we were talking about early in the game to be patient because he has been walking quite a few guys as of late, but much better command so far tonight as far as the walks go. Early in the game, getting a lot of the plate, and the Brewers were taking advantage of it.
Now facing Jonathan Scope, and a fly ball into right field. Reyes drifting back and using that 6'5" frame to snag it for out number 2.
Yeah, good to see Scope with some better at bats. He's waiting back, seeing the baseball much better. He will hit, no doubt about that. He always has.
Lights out month of July with the Orioles. Big year last year. No, they're big leaguers and all of that, but that's a lot on your plate to make a move, cross-country flight, join a team on the West Coast, get settled in. Got to think that day off for a guy like him or a Mike Moustakas, really just a chance to exhale a little bit.
Yeah. Chance to exhale for all the Brewers.
Well, the 21 games in 20 days that took this ball club into the All-Star break, and then came out of the break and had 17 more. And won 10 of those. Ryan Braun, a first inning double and a third inning warning track fly. It bounces up there that Hedges will block. Ronnie had 4 hits in the Rockies series, 4 for 7, including a home run. Hit safely in 11 of his last 12 now.
Yeah. He says he's feeling good physically. That has a lot to do with it. He's got that right field stroke working tonight.
Two balls, one strike. Big inning for the Brew Crew, the first here tonight. 4 runs. 2-run homers off Richard. The first from Aguilar, the second from Mike Moustakas. Ron looks at one right down the middle, a full count. There is Moustakas on deck. Back, 2 walks rather in the inning. As Braun is aboard, Aguilar to second, and this 5th inning will continue for Mike Moustakas, who is putting together a nice night. Here's how it started for him off of Clayton Richard.
Down the middle.
Drilled a Powerball home run count, number 22 on the year for Moustakas, his second as a Brewer. 2-man on for him now.
The slider's much better. That last couple innings, he was hanging that pitch beginning of the game.
Walks to Aguilar and Braun. A threat for Milwaukee in the home half of the 5th. Sac fly for Moustakas in the 3rd. Down to the count, a ball, 2 strikes. Brewers have been able to drive the ball here tonight against a very good ground ball pitcher. A couple of walks getting the left-hander in trouble in the 5th. And a pick-off attempt, get back, and he just did.
Pretty close. A better throw and he's going to be out.
Padres want to take a look at this. We may have a review here. Looks like we are. I'm not sure I feel the greatest about this either.
He mentioned he's only picked off 1. It could be 2 now.
He had 8 of them a year ago.
Yeah. Normally when you talk about a pickoff for a left-hander, you're talking about picking a guy off at first base, not necessarily at second, but Aguilar was getting a big lead. The only reason it was close at second because the pickoff throw was high.
Padres challenge.
Where does he get him, on the arm here? I don't know.
And get him before that foot touched the bag. Very, very close. Call, the field was safe.
It's awfully close.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's enough, but you know what? You never know.
Yeah, there you go. He's out. So Aguilar gets picked off, and the threat goes by the boards. Challenge was worth it for Andy Green. We are now through 5 at Miller Park, a 1-run game. Live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball wherever you go. Beautiful night here at Miller Park. Series opener with the Padres, a 1-run game as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Franmil Reyes will lead things off. He has walked and homered tonight. Corbin Burns still out there for the Brewers. He finished up the 5th inning getting a fly ball from Freddie Galvis. Stranding a couple of runners. Chase Anderson with the first 4 2/3. All 2 strikes to Reyes. Followed by Spangenberg, and very well see a pinch hitter. The 1-2.
Got the good slider working tonight. He was having a difficult time with that pitch for a couple of appearances. He's kind of leaving it up in the zone. Sometimes that happens when you try and overthrow it. You try and throw it too hard, get too much spin on it, just comes out of your hand, doesn't do much.
Back up the middle, and Reyes is on again, a base hit. They just don't want to roll over, do they?
No.
Imagine that.
I mean, they're swinging the bats. Reyes with a good at bat, taking a pitch up and away, hitting it hard into center field. Bottom of the order has been pesky tonight for these Padres. Reyes has been on all 3 times.
Spangenberg, a third inning single, scored a run. Padres have scored in each of the last 3 innings.
Those are 2 pretty big fellas over there at first base.
Well, you got that right.
Alan Porter just doesn't want anything to do with that group.
Keep his distance.
They're close to 600 pounds over there.
Yeah, Reyes, they list him at 275, and that is a chiseled 275. Jesus, a big man as well. I like the line that Travis Shaw was using the other day when they have an infield alignment that has Moustakas at third, Scope at short, Shaw at second, and Aguilar at first. The goal line package. that's a good infield.
The goal line defense, yeah. Yeah, it is.
That is a big boy infield. 2 balls, 1 strike. Padres once again getting the leadoff man aboard. That's the 3rd inning of the last 4 they have done that.
Corbin Burns seems to think that the big fella is going to take off and run.
His next stolen base would be his first at this level.
Doesn't have a very big lead.
No. Matter of fact, he is in the minor leagues. He has no stolen bases, 58 games with El Paso. Big man can do a lot, but the running game has not been a big part of it.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Corey Spangenberg. Burns missing with the slider low and in. Chase Anderson walked 4 in 4 2/3.
Let's see if he's going to take off now in a 3-2 pitch.
He holds and into center field. That's going to drop in front of Lorenzo Cain. Back-to-back singles for the Padres to start the 6th.
Well, the fact is they're putting the ball in play tonight. I mean, they're doing a good job of that. That one down on the label once again. They've had a number of hits like that, just kind of just fighting him off in the outfield, but they all count. Putting it in play.
Two on, nobody out. Back-to-back singles to center. Now a pinch hitter, Carlos Asuaje, is mired in an 0 for 32 skid coming into tonight's game. Looking to lay one down, drops it between the mound and the plate, and it's fielded by Manny Pena for out number one. Good sacrifice bunt from Aswahe as now the Padres with runners in scoring position.
I guess you ask yourself, why don't you send your pitcher up to do that?
Right.
And the Padres started with only 4 position players on their bench. You got 3 now. Clayton Richard dropped down a nice bunt his first time up.
And just has decided to turn it over to the bullpen. But yeah, you're right.
Let him bunt, save a bench player.
So the Padres down a run. Tying run at third. Go ahead run at second. Getting everything squared away defensively.
Team meeting on the mound as Josh Hader's starting to get loose.
Top of the order, rolling to the plate for the Padres. Another big spot for young Corbin Burns. Both teams with 7 hits. Both teams have played errorless baseball. Manuel Margot has put together a good night. That home run was a solo shot, and there was no doubt about it. It was in the last inning against Chase Anderson. There's a fly ball into left field. Braun drifting back. This will tie the game. As tagging and scoring is Reyes, and getting into third is Spangenberg, and it's a 5-5 game at Miller Park.
And how about Margot with 4 RBIs tonight? Have a day.
Padres putting runs on the board now in the last 4 innings. They manufacture one in the 6th. Back-to-back singles, a sacrifice bunt, followed by a sacrifice fly. And here's Eric Hosmer with the go-ahead run at third. They'll get everything squared away with Burns.
His second trip this inning, and you wonder if Craig Counsell's stalling for time to get Josh Hader ready for Eric Hosmer. It's got to be the only reason why you go out there again.
You are correct. So the mound visits are down to 2 now for the Brewers. So going to see a double switch. Your spot due up 4th for Milwaukee is Josh Hader. Has urgency to his bullpen work. We're going to see him come on. And a tie game here at Miller Park. Eric Thames will enter the ball game. Padres and Brewers tied at 5. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Well, some early power for the Brewers, but the Padres have rallied. Some changes now for Milwaukee, part of a double switch. Eric Thames enters the game in right field. Christian Yelich will move over to left. Braun's night is done. And now Josh Hader back on the mound for the Brew Crew.
Yeah, 3 consecutive games for Hader. A third of an inning a couple of days ago. I should say 3 days ago. Then an inning on Sunday. Day off yesterday. And back at it tonight. 38th appearance, a 4-0 record, and a very good 130 earned run average. Well, Andy Green was over talking to the home plate umpire. Then Craig Counsell goes over. Not sure what's going on.
So he's pretty animated about it.
Andy Green brought something to the attention of Nick Marley, the home plate umpire. Not sure what it is. I guess something they put 2 visits back on the scoreboard. So were they talking about maybe taking another visit away from the Brewers? I'm not sure why you would do that if you make a pitching change.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it's all about. Yeah, they got 3 left. I mean, you know, that's pretty standard operating procedure, and I'm surprised that Andy Green didn't know that. You can go out there, have a chat with your pitcher, and Craig Counsell goes out and make a pitching change, and that's not a free visit.
No visit.
Yeah.
So 3 visits left. And now Hader can go to work. Lefty, lefty. Spangenberg, the runner at third, and a wave and a miss at a Josh Hader slider.
He's relied on that pitch a lot, even the right-handed batters. Particularly effective against left-handers.
Lefties hit .065 against Hader this season. Bouncing ball to Jesus Aguilar. Feed inning over. Padres pick up another run. They have now tied the game at 5. We move to the bottom of the 6th. Up with our game summary. Jesus Aguilar with a 2-run blast in the first inning off Clayton Richard, and then later in the inning it was Mike Moustakas with a 2-run homer of his own. Brewers putting 4 on the board to begin the game, but it's turned into a bit of a home run derby here tonight. Franmil Reyes going deep against Chase Anderson, and then Manuel Margot, just his 5th of the year. Solo shot into the left field seats. So a tie game as Mike Moustakas leading off here in the bottom of the 6th. Pitcher on the mound, Phil Maton in there for the Padres.
Yeah, 30th appearance for Maton. He has not done very well on the road. A 10.80 earned run average on the road. You see overall 3.23 earned run average. His only career save came against the Brewers last year back in June.
2 strikes and nothing to Mike Moustakas, who was at the plate in the 5th inning when Jesus Aguilar was picked off second. See the alignment for Moustakas. Here's the 1-2.
Yeah, I had that wrong on Maton. He's got a 240 earned run average in 15 outings on the road. And averaging almost 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. Maybe I should go through the notes before the game starts. Sorry about that, Phil. Got it right though.
Maybe they'll light him up and get that ERA up here.
Yeah, it's going to get there at some point.
That's right. And there's a shot off the bat of Moustakas, but a foul ball. Well, he just blistered another one. Whoa. Seeing that power now that has come over from the Kansas City Royals. With an in 3, he had a sac fly in the 3rd inning. The 1-2. This ball is up. Clayton Richard goes 5, gives up 7 hits, and the 5 runs all earned. 5 runs, 7 hits, both sides. The 2-2. Got him swinging. Out number 1.
Yeah, fastball 92 up and in. You can see why they like this guy. He's got the big strikeout totals, almost 11 per 9 innings this year. Got the fastball and slider.
One away in the 6th for Hernan Perez. Fastball just away for ball 1. A fly to left and a grounder to short for Perez. Swings through it. Padres have rallied from a 4-run deficit. 1-1 pitch to Perez. Sends that out of play. Yet another tight game. That's the way that season opening series went. A couple of them anyway. All 3 games went the Brewers' way.
A 12-inning victory on opening day in San Diego. The beginning of a very good stretch for the Brewers against the National League Western Division.
So missing with the breaking ball. And the Brewers 19-8 against the NL West. 7, 8, and 9 in the Brewers batting order. Payoff pitch to Perez, and a breaking ball missed just away for ball 4.
Yeah, Hedges ready to throw that one down to 3rd base for strike 3. Hey, the Brewers and Padres will wrap up the 3-game series with an afternoon matchup this Thursday, and all kids 14 and under and seniors 60 or above can save 50% on tickets. To book yours, go to brewers.com/tickets. Always a good deal to be had here at Miller Park.
Yeah, great to be back. I want to thank BA for giving me a home series, by the way.
That was nice, though.
Yeah, it was nice. I know he's tired. He had a long stretch. He'll be back.
He figured you liked life on the road. He liked hotel rooms.
It was good.
Yeah.
Little scoreboard issue here.
Yeah.
But you know it's 5-5 and a 1-0 count to Manny Pena. One out and Hernan Perez the runner at first. As long as it's just the scoreboard. Down in LA last week had the power outage.
It's okay as long as the lights don't go out.
Yep. Going to kick it old school here for a little bit.
Yeah, Dodger Stadium and Chase Field in Arizona.
Same night.
The lights went out.
Yeah. But in both cases, the delay was, they were both under 25 minutes. So all things considered, it wasn't all bad.
Right.
Austin Hedges will have a chat with Maton.
Yep, 2-0 count. Make sure that they get together on the right pitch.
Tonight and struck out looking in the fourth inning. Foul ball into the Padres dugout. You're getting there. Everything back in working order here. 2 balls, 1 strike to Pena. Sliders away. Hitters count now for Manny Pena. Clayton Richard walked 3, struck out a like number. Here's 5 innings of work. Actually walked 2, struck out 3. The first, a run in the third as well for Milwaukee. 3-1 to Pena. Perez is running. Pena with a fly ball hit back into left field, but there's room for Hunter Renfroe for out number 2 as Perez retreats.
Yeah, just a little off the end. They put a good swing on it, but just a little out in front. Kept it in the ballpark. Sounded good. There's that cut fastball, and Manny just a little bit out in front of it.
Andy Green coming out. The pitching change. And the left-hander getting loose. Will make the move now. A 5-5 game with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. the runner at first. The left-handed hitter coming up, and Eric Thames. Andy Green goes to his lefty, Matt Strom.
Yeah, good numbers for Strom. They got two lefties down in the bullpen. They got Strom and Castillo, both on the left side of the plate, or left side left-handers. Yeah, Strom actually better against right-handers this year than he has been against lefties. Lefties hitting him at a 250 clip.
Facing Eric Thames. And he hammers one deep to right field, and it is a foul ball. Whoa.
A frozen rope. And just hooking fouls. It got to the pole. That fastball, it was supposed to be away, up and in, and just hooks foul as it gets out there to the foul pole. Not by much.
Thames had one hit in the Rockies series. It was a big one, a walk-off off Wade Davis on Friday night. Swing and a miss, down in the count, 0-2. Thames hitting in the 9th spot of the batting order. 2-strike pitch from Strom. And that bounces away from Hedges. But Thames offered. They're going to have to secure the strikeout, and they do. Thames tried to check, did not. He offered, and they secure the strikeout, and that will end the inning for the Brewers. They leave a man. Craig Counsell, not a very happy man. Take another look. Ooh, very close. Didn't get it. Tied at 5. We move to the 7th.
Zach Davies continues to work his way back from the DL. He put together another solid rehab outing last night with the AAA Colorado Springs Sky Sox going 4 2/3 innings, allowing 1 earned run on 5 hits. But most importantly, he feels good today following that outing. And Craig Counsell is saying that is a big part of his rehab process. The skipper telling reporters before the game that just getting Davies back on the mound every 5th day is key, because we're about 90 days into this DL step between his shoulder injury, now the back injury, and we just need Zach to get on the mound as much as possible. Now, Counsell said Davies will have at least one more rehab outing, but he is unclear where that assignment will take place.
Yeah, thanks, Dario. You have to double check that when Counsell was talking to reporters about that. May 29th was the last time we saw Zach Davies on the mound for the Brewers. Josh Hader stays in there for Milwaukee, and Hunter Renfroe greets him with a base hit to left.
Padres swinging the bats. That's hit number 8. They've now out hit the Brewers 8-7. I was amazed when Hader gives up a base hit. It's not very often,
right?
You know, I mean, yeah, there was a time this year where you kind of were surprised when somebody was making contact. That's how dominant he's been. You know, leadoff single once again, another leadoff base runner for the Padres.
Getting that done with regularity after Chase Anderson retired the first 6. In 4 of the 5 innings since, the leadoff man has been aboard for San Diego. Here's Christian Villanueva. Hader's second man out of the bullpen tonight for Milwaukee. Half swing foul ball. 1-1 the count. One of the top bullpens around, asked to deliver once again here for Milwaukee. This left-hander punches out 16.5 men per 9. 1-1 pitch. There's a base hit into right center field. And moving on to third will be Hunter Renfroe, and more trouble here in the 7th.
Now, they have been putting together some really good at bats tonight for a team that strikes out a lot. They have been hitting it where it's pitched, not always barreling it up all the time. That was only 93 for Hader. It looked like Villanueva was thinking about right field the whole way, able to dump one out there, and Renfroe gets all the way to third base.
At the corners with nobody out in the 7th inning. Here is Austin Hedges to the plate. Up against it.
Brewers playing back. They'll exchange a run for 2 outs. Get one on the ground.
The 1-0. Tries to check his swing, and he does. Pop up, a strikeout, and a walk for Hedges tonight. Single to left from Renfroe, single to right from Villanueva. Two balls, no strikes to Hedges. There's a good slider, and Pena keeps it in front of him.
And nasty. Good break on it. More and more you see Hader go to that pitch, and we mentioned that against right-handers as well. Down and in, right over the top of it. Good pitch. Good block. Saves a run.
Very good defensive catcher, Manny Pena. 2 balls, 1 strike to Austin Hedges. The fastball misses up and away. Three and 1 count. Hader giving up back-to-back singles. In the air to right field. This will carry into the seats.
Hit some long foul balls tonight.
Boy, that had more carry to it than I thought.
He's hooked a couple of foul to left. He just punched one out to right. Hit it pretty well.
Well, a terrific strikeout pitcher. Sure could use one here. Full count to Hedges. Popped up. That'll work as well. Scope will call for it. That's out number 1. Others remain at the corners.
And now get your ground ball. Switch hitter coming up, Freddie Galvis. He'll bat right-handed. Yeah, Hedges was heading the count 3-1. Hader able to get him.
First out of the inning for Hader. Galvis looking for his first hit. Couple of fly balls in between a strikeout in the fourth. His average against lefties is better. It's 261 from the right side of the plate, as opposed to 228 where he normally hits from the left side. He's also grounded into 7 double plays this year, showing bunts.
And a lot of things the Padres can do right here. One for a base hit, push one towards second, and see if Renfroe can get a jump. Who's playing for the double play?
Here's the 1-0. Again shows bunt. And here comes Renfroe. Play at the plate. They got him. Nailed him at the plate.
A bad decision by Hunter Renfroe to take off on that. Not a suicide squeeze. You got to read the bunt. It was bunted too hard right at Aguilar, and he made a good throw to home plate. That's just not a good read by Renfroe. And the Brewers able to get an out at home plate. Hey, you're best off just staying at third on that. Good execution by the Brewers.
Manny able to apply the tag. So runners at first and second. 2 away. Another big at bat coming up. Hader giving up singles to Renfroe, and Villanueva gets a pop up.
See what Galvis was trying to do is push it towards Scope. Got it too much down the line because Aguilar right on top of him, and Hunter Renfroe just made a mistake trying to score.
Well, the Brewers will try to get Franmil Reyes out for the first time tonight. A walk, a homer, and a single. First 2 reaching in the inning for San Diego. Nothing to show for it yet with 2 men out. Big night for San Diego's big man. Here's the 1-0. In there at 95 from Hader, 1-1.
Right at the knees.
Bottom of the order has done a lot of damage for San Diego tonight. Told you what Reyes has done. Spangenberg is on deck. He has a couple of hits. As this light hitting San Diego team has been anything but light hitting tonight. Break even pitch. Just away with a fastball.
They're taking a lot of close pitches. They've had pretty good discipline up the plate tonight. Making the Brewers throw strikes.
Bit of grind. Chase Anderson 4 2/3. Burns working an inning. Hader trying to wiggle out of trouble in the 7th. Here's the 2-1. There's a base hit into left field, rounding third, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Villanueva is in, Galvis is in, and it's a 2-run double for Franmil Reyes, and the Padres take the lead 7-5.
Looked like he jumped on a slider down and in, and nice short stroke. That's how strong he is. That ball went all the way to the wall. And that's why Freddie Gal was able to score. Have a night, Reyes. Reyes and Margot doing all the damage tonight. He goes down and gets that slider and rips it out there into the gap. A little bit of the flair to it as well. He drives in a couple of runs, and the Padres jump on top. They come all the way back from being down 4-0 in the first inning.
This is a confident young bunch right now. They went 5-20 in July. Travis Jankowski now on the pinch run for Reyes. A terrific night for Franmil Reyes. Here's Spangenberg. He has a couple of singles. The 1-0. Amazing how this game works. The Padres parting ways with Tyson Ross to the Cardinals. Jordan Lyles, of course, part of the Brewers bullpen now. The rebuild in full motion, and
trade away their closer.
Right. Moved him to the Cleveland Indians, Brad Hand. But they are being a pest. Cubs got a good dose of it over the weekend in a 4-game series split. And the Brewers now looking up at a 2-run deficit in the 7th.
Yeah, not a lot to lose, and just trying to make their mark in the big leagues. That's a dangerous opponent.
A walk to Spangenberg as this inning continues. There's Jacob Barnes now warming up for the Brewers. So we'll see if Bader can get through this 7th. Bader will now be facing Jose Pirela. So only A.J. Ellis, the backup catcher, remains on the bench for San Diego.
Yeah, emptying out his bench. Janikowski in there for defense. A little extra speed at second base.
Strike to Pirela.
Josh Hader so close to getting out of that mess.
The first 2 reached. Tired the next 2, and then the big double off the bat of Reyes. Now a ball, strike to Jose Pirela. Padres have now scored in the last 5 innings. A ball, a strike. Runners are going, and the pitch is fouled away. 1-2 now to Pirela. Signed with the Yankees 12 years ago. Traded to the Padres off season of 2015. A 1-2. Chance for Hernan Perez, and that will end the inning. Yet another scoring inning for the Padres. They get a couple of runs, but the Brewers will bring the top of the order. Kane, Yelich, Aguilar, hopefully more. Down by 2 at stretch time.
The game winner. Main Street Tap in Twin Lakes. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite, Kenosha County, Twin Lakes.
Mike Faulkner all over that for you again.
You're giving away all my secrets.
Well, you know, full disclosure. Travis Jankowski, pitch running, top half of this inning, stays in the game in left field.
And he knows Wisconsin. I'll give him that.
Well, he knows every inch of it. Craig Stammen now on the mound for San Diego. He faces the top of the Milwaukee batting order.
You know, this Padres bullpen, no slouch. I mean, they're actually 4th best in the National League. A .354 earned run average, but a little asterisk maybe. A lot of that, you know, early in the season was Brad Hand and Jordan Lyles, both traded away.
Kane in the hole, sliding stop, Galvis, and what a play by Freddie Galvis to retire Lorenzo Kane.
Yeah, just a beauty. I mean, that is big league shortstop play right there. He goes down on one knee to get himself in position to throw. He did that on purpose just to get himself in a position where he can make a throw from his knees. Check this out. I mean, that is incredible. Right on the money and getting Kane by half a step.
One away for Christian Yelich.
It's amazing how many really good shortstops there are in the big leagues. I mean, every team has a really good shortstop, right?
Well, you're right about that.
I mean, that's the most important of your infield positions. Range, throwing arm, balance. And kind of knowing instinctively when you're down on the ground like that where first base is and all in one motion able to make a throw like that.
Orlando Arcia can put on a show with the best of him when he's in the lineup and out there at short.
Had a big hit on Sunday in the 9th inning.
He sure did. Yelich, a foul ball. Yeah, that was quite the confidence boost, you would think. Craig Counsell letting it roll with Arcia with a couple of pinch hitting options available, and Orlando coming through.
Yep, sometimes the tough decision for a manager to make is just letting it ride, not making a move, and it worked out. Arcia doubles, kept the game going.
2 balls, 1 strike to Yelich. Looking for his first hit, and we have not said that much at all with Christian Yelich when we get deep into a game. He's hit safely in 24 of his last 26. 2-2 pitch coming.
Sometimes when you're swinging a bat like Yelich has been swinging the bat, the last thing you want is a day off. That's why Craig Counsell didn't sit him out at all. 17 straight after the All-Star break. Just kept it going. The beat went on. A day off yesterday.
And Yelich working Stammen for a walk. 1 out, 1 on in the 7th.
Well, big boys coming up.
Jesus Aguilar, and as he strolls to the plate, good time to check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Number 27 coming in the first inning tonight for Aguilar. Travis Shaw with 22. Moustakas hitting number 22 tonight. Scope and Yelich rounding out the Powerball home run leaderboard. 4 of the 5 runs for the Brewers coming in the first. Hitting a 2-run homer off the bat of Aguilar. Seven bombs, 79 RBIs. Facing the veteran Craig Stammen. Signed a free agent deal, a 2-year deal back in January with the Padres. And he's having trouble finding the strike zone. Oh no, you got to be careful. There is a lineup full of thumpers in this Brewers batting order.
You got Jonathan Schoop on deck, and then the pitcher's spot. Remember Ryan Braun out of the ball game. Great Counsel has Travis Shaw left on the bench, Arce and Kratz.
When he's right, he gets a lot of ground balls, this Stammen. 2-0 to Aguilar. That's in there. If he heats up, that is big news for the Brew Crew. Terrific first half of the season for Aguilar, getting his first All-Star appearance.
And see if we can get Stammen to hang one of these sliders. He likes his slider. You know, low 90s fastball. He's also going to throw a changeup every now and again. Let's see if Aguilar can get one and find a gap somewhere.
2 balls, 1 strike. Jonathan Schoop is on deck. Andy Green has watched his team battle back, down 4 after the first inning. One pitch to Aguilar. Takes a look at the fastball at the knees.
Yep, right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Good pitch from Stammen, evening the count. There's a shot into left field, and it is caught by Jankowski. And that's the second out of the inning.
Yeah, hard hit ball, a little sinking liner out there. Jankowski coming in for defense, able to make a nice running catch out there in the gap. A little bit out in front, you can see a sinking liner out there. And just didn't get that backspin. Gets a backspin on that one. That's a big fly. Not much more Aguilar can do. He hit it hard.
2 away with Yelich the runner at first for Jonathan Schoop. Singled in the 3rd inning. Takes a look at a breaking ball for strike 1. A couple pretty good at-bats tonight as Schoop flied out to right field in the 5th, showing some signs that perhaps he is settling in. Hit 9 homers in the month of July with Baltimore. Bouncing ball is foul. It's 2 strikes and nothing.
Yeah, it seems like he's staying back much better than he did when he first came over. That comfort zone up at the plate, relax, let the ball get to you, drive it to the opposite field. Sounds easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, sure does. Huge year with the Orioles last year, an all-star season. Behind to Stammen, 2 strikes and nothing. Strikes him out swinging, working him low and in. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the 7th. We move to the 8th. Padres lead it 7-5.
one. Josh Harrison capping off a 5-run fifth inning for the Buccos with a 2-run shot, his 7th of the year. The exit velo on that one, 102. Pirates now 5.5 games back at that second wild card spot in the NL.
All right, Dario, they will not go away, and the San Diego Padres will not fade away. As you see, down early, but the offense alive for San Diego. 7-5, we move to the 8th. Jacob Barnes now on the mound for Milwaukee.
And you see the numbers for Jacob at earned run average of 338. Barnes last pitched on Saturday against the Rockies, a scoreless inning. It seemed like he was using the fastball a little bit more often in that appearance on Saturday. Still has that cut fastball to go with it.
Faces the top of the order, Manuel Margot, who has put together a terrific night. Mentioned the bottom of the order has done a lot of damage. Well, so has Manuel Margot at the top.
And Margot and Reyes, all the damage tonight.
Couple of runs in the 7th, giving the Padres the lead as they touched up Josh Hader. And Barnes pours one in there at 97.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. First 2 pitches, just 4 seamers. Still the best pitch in baseball.
Another big, strong guy out there in Jacob Barnes. 2-strike pitch. Margot, Hosmer, and Renfroe here in the 8th inning for the Padres. Not messing around as Jacob Barnes. A strikeout of Margot for out number 1.
Hey, Goodwill is once again offering half-price tickets in section 238 of left field Lowe's bleachers for most Brewers home games this season. To secure your club Goodwill tickets, visit left field ticket window number 40 as soon as the ballpark gates open. Learn more at brewers.com.
Another good crowd here at the ballpark, 27,000 plus, which puts the season attendance at 2 million plus. August 7th, 2 million plus made their way into Miller Park. There's Eric Hosmer. 10-hit night for the Padres. A couple of long balls in there. Back up the middle. This is Scope, and it's off the heel of his glove. Hosmer is on.
Man, would have been a good play by Scope. Probably one that he should be able to at least keep in the glove and make a throw to first base. That's going to be an error on Jonathan. E4 is the call.
One out, one on for Hunter Renfroe. He led off the 7th inning with a base hit off of Josh Hader, and this gets by Pena, and Hosmer moves to second. Wild pitch advancing the Padres first baseman.
Yeah, cut fastball, not even close. Manny a little bit late getting the glove over there. That's going to be a wild pitch.
And a bumpy night for this Brewers bullpen. Barnes trying to settle it. Another runner in scoring position is Renfroe. A swing and a miss as Barnes again rears back and lets it fly.
Well, it's been tough on this Brewers pitching staff since the beginning of the 3rd inning. The Padres have had men all over the bases in every inning. first and second inning, 6 up, 6 down, and since that time, been a mess.
Nothing but trouble. Scored in every inning since. Chase Anderson went the first 4 2/3, gave up 4 runs. Burns an inning, allowed a run. Hader an inning and a third, 2 runs scored. Two balls, 1 strike to Renfroe. And the fastball. Well, you're not kidding.
Yeah, more of those. And it's been working for him. And why not? You're throwing 97, 98 miles an hour, right? That's going to get a lot of guys out.
Barnes earned a save on opening day. 12-inning Brewer win against the Padres as Renfroe lifts one into left field and deep, and Yelich can only watch. That's out of here. Another home run for the Padres, and this time it's from Hunter Renfroe.
Yeah, and it was the cutter. They went with the cutter, and Renfroe able to barrel it up. He was able to slip the fastballs by him. Went with a cutter on a 2-2 pitch, and he knocked it out of here. There's the spin down the middle, and Renfroe barrels it up, knocks it way back.
So 2 days removed from a 10-run outing against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Padres, like the Brewers, off yesterday. San Diego with 9 on the board tonight.
And 3 more homers.
Villanueva, a foul tip, 1-1 the count. Franmil Reyes, a solo shot for the Padres in the 4th. Likewise from Margot in the 5th. That led off the inning, and then Renfroe goes deep with a man aboard in the 8th. And a broken bat, and that's going to fall, a base hit. Hit number 12 for the Padres.
You know, that right there is just a good piece of hitting. I mean, you got to tip your hat. It wasn't a bad pitch by Barnes. Check it out. It's the cutter again. Look where it is. Down and away. He blows up the bat. Yeah, but he's going in that direction. We've seen him do that a couple of times tonight. Making it obvious he's going to right field. Pretty good at bat. Ends up with a base hit.
They are looking anything but the lightest hitting team in the National League. They have come here and they are letting it rip. Hedges a base hit. After Barnes retired Margot to begin the inning, it has unraveled.
Well, he had a strikeout, then an error kind of opened up the inning for the Padres, the E4. This has been an unbelievable offensive onslaught by the Padres tonight. 13 hits, 9 runs, 3 homers. And coming in, they've scored the fewest runs in the National League this year.
Yeah, this game never ceases to amaze.
You just never know. Chase Anderson got 6 up, 6 down, first 2 innings, and since that time, it has been all Padres.
6 straight innings they have put runs on the board. Galvis a swing and a miss.
Brewers had a 4-0 lead after 1.
Barnes with a fastball, now 2 strikes and nothing. 13 hit attack for San Diego tonight. Last 4 have reached for the Padres. And that bounces up there. That's a good block by Pena. Again.
Not often one gets by him. He had one get by him in this inning and cut her off the plate, but if he's able to get in front of him, pretty good chance he's going to keep it close.
A ball, 2 strikes to Galvis. A wave and a miss. That's out number 2. Both via the strikeout here in the 8th for Barnes.
That's where you want a 2-strike cutter down there, down in the dirt. Manny will block it, and you got the swing.
Here's Travis Jankowski. He came on as a pinch runner in the 7th inning for Franmil Reyes. A guy who runs well. A good top of the order hitter when he is in the lineup. Barnes trying to grind through this 8th inning. Cutter will even the count. Jankowski out of Stony Brook University helped that college program into the College World Series for the first time in the history of that program. And Barnes ahead in the count. A ball, 2 strikes. The outs have been strikeouts, but in between an error, a home run, a couple of singles. The 1-2. Fights one off, up and in.
That is a good fastball. The Padres haven't done a whole lot against Barnes on the fastball tonight. Seems like the mistakes that he's made have been on this cutter.
There's been a big pitch when he has been successful more often than not with the big club.
Sometimes you overthrow it and it ends up like we were talking about with Corbin Burns. I mean, it just kind of spins up there, stays down the middle, which is what happened with the home run by Renfroe.
Going with the gas and missing to even the count. Every inning after the second. A lot of labor involved for this Brewers pitching staff. The 2-2 pitch, and that caught the corner for strike 3. So Barnes strikes out 3. That's the good news. The bad news is the Padres put 2 more runs on the board. The lead is 4 here at Miller Park.
bottom of the 8th inning. Ironically, all 4 Brewer pitchers who have pitched have all given up runs. Craig Counsell will talk about that. We'll hear from him coming up on Brewers Live postgame. The Padres break out and get going in this ball game after trailing by 4 in that home run derby. Brewers Live presented by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin coming up after the ball game, Matt.
All right, Craig. Yeah, you wouldn't think there'd be a home run derby battle with the Padres, but that's been the case. Robert Stock now on the mound facing the pinch hitter Travis Shaw.
Yeah, this guy had an 8-inning scoreless streak before giving up a run on Friday. Yeah, that was against the Cubs. Another guy that has pretty good strikeout totals, averaging almost 11 per 9 innings.
Shaw with a fly ball hit back into deep center field, and the park will hold it. Margot at the wall for out number 1. Morning track fly here against Stock to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
Nice easy swing, just kind of a flick of the wrist on a pitch down. Took Margot all the way to the fence.
Here's Moustakas. Not involved in this home run parade. 2-run shot in the first, a sac fly 2 innings later. There's a fly ball out to center field. Margot again, this time at the edge of the track for out number 2.
Been there, been a few of those tonight, haven't there?
Sure have.
There's some early in the game and 2 here in the 8th.
Couple of loud outs. Here's Hernan Perez. Cubs shut out the Royals 5-0 tonight. Perez looks at a strike. 98s on the offering from Stock. Played his college ball at USC. The rookie out there, broken bat in the hole. It went off the glove of Villanueva, and it trickles into left field. Galvis was ready for it in the hole, but it's there. Go try and get it. It's a base hit for Perez.
Yeah, stays right on it, just out of the reach. Villanueva knocked it down. You're right. 3 hard hit balls in this inning. There's a fastball just trying to find its way in on his hands, but Perez able to pull the hands in, hit it hard, and the inning continues. They're now with his first base hit tonight.
8th hit for the Brewers. Here's Manny Pena. Second inning single for Manny, followed by a strikeout and a fly ball to left.
Took a while to record that base hit for Manny. They were trying to decide whether it was going to be a hit or an error. It took them about 3 hitters to decide, well, I'm going to give him a hit.
It did. It was a tough chance.
Hit a bullet right at second base. Spangenberg knocked it down and ended up being ruled as a base hit.
All right, 3-0 the count now to Pena. Eric Thames on deck. He was trying to get something done after a couple of warning track fly balls to begin the inning with Shaw and Moustakas. Single for Perez, and now a 3-0 count to Manny Pena. Trying to make this interesting as we get late.
Another base hitter. You got Thames coming up.
Hitters count for Manny Pena. Here's the 3-1, and runners are at first and second with 2 men out.
There you go. Well, you know how much Eric Thames likes the fastball, and you figure that Stock's going to give him one or two.
It's Kirby Yates warming up. He's the new closer now for the Padres. He's had a very, very good year as well. Brewers trying to put a little damage on Stock. Thames looks at strike one.
Dropped the breaking ball on him. Yeah. No secrets in this game.
Home run number 15 for Thames came Friday night. It was a walk-off against Wade Davis. There's the fastball, and it's 2 strikes and nothing. '28-year-old Robert Stock, another rookie on this Padres roster. 2-strike pitch. And the slider gets Eric Thames swinging. And the Brewers strand a couple of runners in the 8th. We move to the 9th. Padres lead it 9-5. Let's get to our Badger Mutual Insurance plays of the game. It's the long ball power from San Diego. Franmil Reyes going deep. Manuel Margot, his 5th of the year. Not known for the power, but he shows it here tonight. And then Hunter Renfroe takes Jacob Barnes deep. Big time attack for the Padres tonight.
And the big blow, I think, 7th inning, that Reyes double with 2 outs off of Josh Hader. That gave the Padres a lead as Travis Shaw takes over at 3rd base.
Scope sliding over to shortstop. And Perez moving out to right field.
Actually, Shaw's over at 2nd base.
Yep. The goal line package infield they have out there right now. Dan Jennings now on the mound.
That's what I get for doing play-by-play. My apologies.
Hey man, I've heard you do that spring training.
Yeah, well, it worked out good tonight, didn't it? Dan Jennings, his 54th appearance at .310 earned run average. Craig Counsell using a lot of his relievers here tonight, 4 of them now.
It has been rough for every Brewer pitcher on the mound tonight, from the starter Chase Anderson through the bullpen. Burns, Hader, and Barnes each touched up. Ball of strike to Corey Spangenberg. 2 of the 13 hits belong to him. You're kind of tough on yourself, Rob.
Am I?
Yeah, beating yourself up a little bit there.
Yeah, well.
You have a high bar.
That's kind of the way I'm feeling right now.
Right there with you.
Put this one on me.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The Spangenberg. A.J. Ellis moving into the on-deck circle. And that is a called 3rd strike. Slider.
Yeah.
Giving Jennings a strikeout.
Yeah, good pitch right on that outside corner. That slider has been a good pitch for him as of late. Yep, caught the edge. Spangenberg helped checked his swing, but he got the call by Nick Marley.
One away here in the 9th inning. Jennings will now face the veteran A.J. Ellis. People around here well aware. He and his family, his wife Cindy, and kids. They spend the off season here in the Franklin, Wisconsin area.
You got to figure this guy's going to be a coach or a manager at some point. I mean, you talk about the student of the game. This guy knows how to play the game right. He's had a terrific career. Good defensive catcher.
He's having a very nice year when called upon this season for San Diego. On base percentage on the edge of 400.
One of the guys that you like to have on your ball club when you have a bunch of young guys. I mean, A.J. Ellis, veteran guy, he knows how to play the game, as we just talked about, but he's a good example. He's willing to teach what he knows about the game. He's actually the guy that taught Christian Yelich how to run the bases.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Every time I hear the name or see him now, I think about that. We marveled all year about how Yelich runs the bases. You know that chat you had with Christian?
I thought he was joking with me, but no, he said you don't have to be fast to be a good base runner. He's right.
3 balls, 1 strike as Ellis pops this one up.
A.J. Ellis got it from Chase Utley.
But when you hear a story like that, that tells you right away that if coaching is an avenue that Ellis chooses to pursue, like, yeah, he's got a chance to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Marlins last year, signed with the Padres in February. Another guy, when he's been behind the plate, he's been very good at throwing out attempted base stealers. Full count to him. And he looks at ball 4, just off the plate, 1 out, 1 on in the 9th. Hey, 2 great National League games coming to FS1 this Saturday. First, the Cubs host the Washington Nationals. Then Ryan Braun and the Brewers square off with Freddie Freeman and the Atlanta Braves. All starts at 2 o'clock Central on FS1 or stream it live on the Fox Sports app. Contending teams having at it. Doubleheader on FS1. Here's Margot.
Padres have been very disciplined up there at the plate tonight. I mean, they have. I mean, they have been taking some very close pitches. They are off the plate. A team that strikes out a lot, but they have really had a good understanding of the strike zone tonight.
Margot hits another one hard, and that's going to sail over the glove of Christian Yelich. As Ellis on the run, they're going to wave him around. Relay coming from Scope into 3rd. It gets by Moustakas, and coming home is Margot. And Murphy's Law is in full effect for the Brewers here tonight. Whatever can go wrong will.
Well, probably a triple and an error in allowing him to get to home plate. That ball was smoked. Margot has hit the ball hard just about every time up. He has struck out a couple of times, but that ball just sails over the head of Christian Yelich. He went in a couple of steps and realized I better get back. That's going to probably be a triple RBI. And he scores on an error on Jonathan Scope.
So yet another scoring inning for the Padres. They've had nothing but since the second inning.
So Scope with 2 errors tonight.
Yeah. And one an inning ago playing second. A shot off the bat of this guy, Eric Hosmer. He reached and Hunter Renfroe lifted a 2-run homer. An 11-5 ball game. The more you try to figure out the game of baseball, the more you realize you just don't know.
No. 5 RBIs for Margot tonight. 3 for Reyes.
Margot came into the game with 31 runs batted in. Night for the rookie Reyes, as you mentioned. And a very good night all the way around for this Padres offense. A 14-hit night. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hosmer. That is strike 3 called for out number 2. Here's Hunter Renfroe. The way this game works, over 162, a terrific bullpen. Been knocked around tonight. Go all the way back to last week.
Yeah.
The Thursday game in LA where the Brewers gave up 21 runs. And about 18 hours later, 20 hours later, they beat the Rockies on a walk-off. That's how it works.
Yeah. You just never know. The Brewers had a 4-0 lead. They had a 5-2 lead, and then the Padres scored 9 unanswered runs.
Back-to-back games of double-digit runs from the Padres. Hard to do for any team. This ball club. Mentioned the troubles they've had offensively, you wouldn't know it.
Yeah, doing it against 2 of the top pitching teams in the league.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Renfroe. And a chance for Jesus Aguilar. He'll handle it himself. That's it for the Padres in the ninth, but they scored 2 more. Brewers down 6 in the ninth. 11-5 lead for the San Diego Padres. You look at what they've done after falling behind 4-0 in the first inning. Offensive onslaught here for San Diego tonight at Miller Park. Now about to make his major league debut, Trey Winginter on the mound for the Padres.
You got to figure there's a little bit of butterflies in that belly right now. Yeah, bringing him in a 6-run lead. He's got the top of the Brewers order to deal with.
Starts with Lorenzo Cain, a 2-hit night for him, a single and a double.
He was a reliever down in El Paso. 40 relief appearances, a .345 earned run average.
Cain with a fly ball to center field. Margot will put it away. 1 out. Quite the night for Manuel Margot. Winginter long and lean, 6'7", 200. Had a very good year last year in Double-A. There was thought he would break camp and spring training on the 25-man roster, but a couple of mechanical issues. They say he wanted to get squared, needed to get squared away.
He got the big fastball, 98. And a slider to go with it. Cain hit a slider out into center field.
They say he's another one of those who can touch 100. Faces Christian Yelich.
Seem like a dime a dozen these days, aren't they?
You're right.
I mean, honestly.
Be another one of many.
Used to be maybe 1 or 2 guys.
College ball at Auburn. 2 balls, 1 strike to Yelich. At 98, a swing and a miss. Some pretty fair young arms, even after moving Brad Hand to the Indians. Jordan Lyles now with the Brewers. Strikeout of Yelich. 2 up, 2 down in the 9th.
98 up in the zone.
Let's check out Miller Lite's what's on tap. Game 2 of the series tomorrow. Yoeli Chacin with the Padres last year. Terrific year so far with the Brew Crew. Brett Kennedy will be making his big league debut. Big time numbers in the minors. Our coverage starts tomorrow with Brewers Live at 6:30 on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Chacin trying to get back on course. He gave up a career high 9 runs against the Dodgers. 9 runs, 8 of them earned for Chacin. That rough loss for the Brewers in LA.
Night started on a big time note for the Brewers. A 2-run homer from Aguilar in the first inning. Moustakas another 2-run homer in the first. Not a whole lot going on since. Only a 3rd inning sacrifice fly from Moustakas. The Padres have been scoring consistently from the 3rd inning on. Ball a strike to Aguilar. Slider from Winginter is now a ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, we haven't seen this kind of offense against this Brewers pitching staff, too often this year.
No.
I mean, consistent offense from the 3rd inning on. It's been impressive by the Padres.
Reset button to be pushed. Get back to it tomorrow night.
Yep, get it all out of the way tonight. Get it out of your system.
One and 2. And a bouncing ball over to Hosmer. And the San Diego Padres take the opener of this series. 14-hit attack for San Diego here tonight as Craig Counsell's team will regroup. Back at it tomorrow night at Miller Park. 11-5 your final. The Padres take the opener. Let's send it down to Nelly's Corner. Standing by with Brewers Live is Craig Deshawn.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. Top one tonight. Boy, who would have thought after a 4-run cushion early in the game, the score would turn out this way. We'll hear from Craig Counsell. Padres opening things up. We'll take a look at that in the home run derby that exploded out of nowhere. Stay tuned. Brewers Live is next.